Hi, Catherine.
Hi,
Nice to see you.
thank you.
How's everything going?
Well, not too bad. We're going to be selling our house the end of June.
Here?
Yeah,
Oh, where are you going to?
well, we're just going to be staying in Canada and then just go down and maybe rent if we can. Yeah,
So sweet.
we've had it 9 years.
Okay. Is it under contract?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, I'll miss seeing you here.
I know, same here. I thought I got to get in because next Monday I've got a weekend away and I won't be here on the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so.
Uh-huh. Well, hopefully, are you going to look to rent in Glen Eagles?
Well, we'll try, but we know a lot of the area around too. So just somewhere where everything's familiar would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, if it stays Glen Eagles, then you'll be able to still come to class and stuff. So
I
that-
know.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens next
Yeah.
November.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good luck with all of that. So is this then probably the last class?
I'm not sure if there'll be one more.
Okay. All right.
It might be, but thank you for all your work. It's been wonderful.
Well, you're welcome. And I hope you continue, with the practice and
I will try.
if it's not Glen Eagles, you can find me at Love Yoga.
Yes.
Come there to the studio.
Okay.
That would be good. All right, let me get set up here. See if we can do a little. Oh, we're doing bands today? Give it a shot. Oh, really? Thank you. You're welcome. How are you? Good. Nice to see you. Good to see you too. I saw you walking this morning. So you live close by. Yeah, just on the next block. And everybody's signing it. All right, who has me? Yeah. And then oh, I think she has one. She does.
Hi, Nancy. My name, Nancy.
Yes, who's joining?
This is
us?
Olivia Harvey. If you want to sign me in.
Yeah, we will. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Olivia and Catherine. Yes, you put a V next to their names for virtual. All right, if you ladies have some type of strap at home, we're going to do a little bit with the strap here. You can use a belt, you can use a long scarf, you can use a long, oh, look at that. You got that, yeah. So Olivia, if you've got something, and also 2 blocks or anything that's like a block, so big book, big cookbook works. Joy of cooking. All right, let me go ahead and mute you both. I know, it's sad now with I used to love the feel, right, online. That's how I look up recipes. All right, so we're actually gonna start on our backs with the 2 blocks. Nick's already there. We're gonna get into a little supported fish pose. Oh, we've got somebody else joining us. Welcome, welcome. I just see it says MS account, so I'll get your name afterwards. So take 1 block and put it to the back of your mat at the middle height. Or the low feels good. Yeah, do the low, do the lowest. Well, for some of you, if you don't want your head back as far, then you're gonna want the middle height. And then take your other block and you want to put it the same width as the mat. And that's gonna go, when you lay back, the position is gonna be in between the shoulder blades. So, or for the ladies, across your bra strap. And then your head rests on the other block. So the idea is that it is providing that lift for your chest. This is a chest opener in a supported way. So that 1 block runs in between the shoulder blades. And then the head drops down. So adjust the head either for the middle height, if you don't want it to drop as low, or the lowest height if you're comfortable letting the head drop back a little bit. And then legs can either be stretched out long on your mat, or your knees can be bent with feet on the mat. So if you're gonna butterfly the knees a little, or have the feet on the mat, hip distance apart. Right, everybody looks well positioned. Start to bring your awareness to your breath. So allowing the chest and the heart space to open in this way. Also the shoulders dropping down. The arms meeting the support of the earth beneath it. Allow the back to sink into the support of the blocks. So while at first a bit jarring, maybe a bit sudden to feel this deep opening, but a beautiful way to counter the position from the hours of sleep. To invite in some gratitude, some love, some compassion for yourself and for all beings everywhere, So with each breath, with the heart space, the chest opening like this. On your inhales, think about what you're grateful for. The people, the things, the air we breathe. Watching our friends up north who struggle with the air quality issues last week helps us to, it's a good reminder. Today, I'd like to focus on a sutra, one of the Yoga Sutras. So while Patanjali didn't necessarily invent yoga, he brought us the Yoga Sutras over 3,000 years ago. And these are meant to provide guidelines for our practice. So one of these sutras in Sanskrit, it is Sthira Sukha Asanam. Sthira meaning steady. Sukha meaning ease or calm. And asanam is any pose that we're in, whether it be just being still on our backs or standing or sitting. Anything where we are able to root and ground. So here on your backs, notice where your body is meeting the support. Think about standing poses where your feet are meeting support. Think about when you're seated, where your sits bones meet the support. So this balance of effort and ease applies to our practice on the mat and also off the mat. Sthira Sukham Asanam, steady yet comfortable posture. Requires one to balance two dynamic opposing forces. At a physical level, a balance of sthira and sukha manifests as a sense of stability, ease, comfort, and power in the yoga postures. And at the mental level, a balance of these two opposing forces can be experienced by a sense of peace and tranquility while our minds remain focused and clear. Having a focal point helps us remain steady and strong. And at the emotional level, a balance of these two, sthira and sukha, allows us to release any negative emotions or feelings that may arise in our practice, helping us to feel more connected to ourselves and to others. Bring your hands, one hand over your heart, one hand to your belly. If the legs are straight, go ahead and bend the knees, bringing the feet to the mat. Take 3 deeper breaths here to just start to awaken the body. Notice that when we deepen the breath, it helps us to bring the focus to the breath. One more full inhale and exhale. And then drop that right arm down. Start to roll onto your right side and just come to rest on your right side for a couple of breaths, head resting on that right arm. Don't worry about the blocks. Take a deep breath in and out. And then pressing into the left hand, circle yourself around up to a seat. And then grab these blocks, come up to your knees, and place them in between your ankle bones using the width of it, so not the length, but the width. And then letting your seat drop down so both sits bones feel supported by the blocks, and your knees are coming forward. If you can draw your knees as close together as possible, the tops of the feet resting on the mat, and your straight line from the knees down, the shins out through the toes. Feel the spine lifting up nice and tall, the chin parallel with the earth. Bring your hands to your heart center and either let the eyes close or have them be at a soft gaze, and create an intention for your practice. Patanjali also says, the result of any sequence of events will be determined by your intention. So the practice of asana is done to refine your connection to all beings, others, and yourself. And if you want yoga, relationships should be mutually beneficial. Not taking from others, but connecting with all beings. So with Sthira, Sukham, Asanam in mind, steady and sweet, think how this can apply to your life, to your practice. Weave that into your intentions. And we'll open with the sound of Om. So take a full inhale, sigh it out through the mouth. We'll Om on the next exhale. Draw the corners of your mouth slightly up. Thank yourself for being here. I thank you for being here. Slowly flicker the eyes open. Stay in your seat here on the blocks in hero's pose. Bring one hand over to heart again, one hand to the low belly. Moving into a 3-part yogic breath. So starting with a little pranayama this morning, a breathing technique. So when we do pranayama, it helps us to bring the focus. You good? It brings our focus. So this point of concentration that we talk about in Sthira Sukhamasana So either if your eyes are uncomfortable being closed, find a spot ahead of you that you can focus on, something not moving. Or if it's comfortable to close the eyes, then maybe kind of looking at the back of your eyelids. And then take a full breath in. Exhale it fully out through the nose. And then as you start your next inhale, inhale a third of it into the low belly, another third into the rib cage, another third up to the chest, and exhale a third at a time. So these gentle little pauses. Inhale a third, a third, a third, and exhale a third, a third, a third, almost like you're sipping the air in. Inhale a third, a third, a third, and exhale a third, a third, a third. Inhale a third, a third, a third. Exhale a third, a third, a third. 2 more times at your own count. After that second round is complete for you, just return to a natural breath following your inhales and your exhales and not manipulating the breath in any way. And then take a couple of moments to notice how that felt for you. Were you able to stay focused on the breath? Maybe at any point, did you visualize the breath entering into that part of the body? So when we narrow our focus, we ease the calming, the whirlings of the mind chatter, bringing us more into this present moment. Let the hands come down to the thighs and just start to flicker the eyes open, coming back to the space. Rocking forward, move the blocks behind you. Come to hands and knees. And just let's make some organic circles. So take the hips over to the right, push the sits bones back towards your heels, bring them over to the left. Just a few times moving in this circular direction after another one. That direction, reverse the direction and go around to the left. And if there's any area in the hip, in the arms, anywhere you want to spend a little bit more attention, anything needs to be worked out a little bit more this morning. And then find neutral. Draw the belly in so your navel feels like it's moving toward the spine. And alignment-wise, you want your knees under your hips and your shoulders stacking with your elbows and wrists. And then rock your shoulders forward. Rotate the elbow creases to the front of the room and lower the upper body to the mat. Bring your hands, stack them, so palm on top of palm, and let your forehead drop down to the backs of the hands, Separate the legs toward the far corners of your mat and turn your toes so your ankle bones come to the inside of the mat. And just 5 breaths here in what we call crocodile pose. Breathe into the back of the neck. So this little bit of elevation. Feel that area of the cervical spine opening up a little bit. And just a little rotation of the legs here with the ankle bones turned in. So getting a little bit for the hips. And your breath coming from the diaphragm. So feeling the belly press into the mat. Drawing the breath up from the diaphragm. One more full inhale. And exhale, and then start lifting the upper body, slide the elbows under, bring the legs closer together, and then roll over onto your back. And have your strap alongside you. And then begin drawing the knees into your chest, hug them in, and rock from side to side. Little massage for your sacrum, for your low back. And then come back to neutral and extend your left leg long out onto the mat. Interlace your fingers under that right knee, so behind the right thigh. And inhale, lengthening the leg up to the ceiling. And exhale, rebend the right knee. Inhale, extend the right leg up to the ceiling. And exhale, rebend that right knee. Inhale, lengthening up to the ceiling. And exhale, rebend, and then drop the right knee down to the floor. So the sole of the right foot coming to the inside of the left leg. And I want you to flex that left foot, almost like you're reaching that left foot toward the mirrors to stand on it. Inhale, float the arms overhead. So we're here in our tree pose on our backs. And then bend at the elbows, making cactus arms. Push the arms into the floor a little bit, feeling that chest open once again. Breathe in. Breathe out, feeling the gentle opening of the right hip. Notice how the back feels. See if you can press the whole back into the mat. When we're standing in tree pose, it takes concentration to stand on the extended leg here on our back, so you can focus more on the alignment of the spine. And then try and recall that when we're standing on that foot. Sweep the hands down, bring that right knee back to the middle and draw that right knee back into your chest. Grab your strap. We're going to bring that strap to the ball of the right foot. So that's space that's just below where the toes meet the foot. And then begin pushing the ball of the foot into the strap as your hands slide down the sides of the strap. So let your hands pull down on the strap as the ball of your foot is pushing into the strap. So you don't want the strap in the middle of the foot. You want it around the ball of the foot. So this part toward the top where the toes meet. And that way, when you push the ball of the foot into the strap and you're pulling down, you get a deep stretch for that right leg. And hold the strap, not with one hand, but the The sides coming down either side of the foot. You want to hold the strap so that strap's not together but apart. And you're holding the left side with the left hand, the right side with the right hand. One more full inhale and exhale. And now bring the straps together. Grab the straps with your right hand. Your left hand comes to rest on your left hip. And then slowly, keeping this 90-degree angle, start to let the right leg drop out to the side. So let it drop out to the point where your left hip starts to lift. So take it slow, letting it drop out to the side. You can bring that left foot to the mat, bending that left knee if you need a little extra support, or keeping that left leg long. But either way, be mindful of that grounding. So notice both sits bones helping to ground you here. Breathe in. Breathe out. So that right leg doesn't have to drop all the way down. It's more important to keep it at the 90-degree angle. And then inhale, lifting that right leg back up. And we're going to take a twist here. So slowly let it drop down to the left. And as you let it drop to the left, roll onto the left side of your body. Extend the right arm out long onto the floor, straight out from the shoulder, palm face up. Holding the strap in your left hand. Sorry, I forgot to have you switch hands. Breathe in. Breathe out. Beautiful, everyone. Allow that left leg to go soft. No effort in that left leg. Just noticing here, being your own self-study of what's going on in the body. And then we'll start to lift the leg back up on your next inhale. And release that strap, hug that right knee in. Make a big circle, take the right knee out to the side, circle it in, a nice gentle circle, one direction. And then reverse it. And then extend that right leg out onto the mat. Maybe notice if it feels a little longer than the other leg. And then we'll draw the left knee into the chest. Just let the strap, release the strap right now, and just take the hands, interlace them underneath that left knee, hugging around the left back, the left thigh. Inhale to extend the leg up to the ceiling. Exhale, rebend that left knee. Inhale, slowly extend the leg up to the ceiling. And exhale, rebend it. One more time. Inhale, extend up to the ceiling. And exhale, rebend, and then drop that left knee to the floor. Sole the foot coming to the inside of that right leg. And flex that right foot now as if you're standing on it. Inhale the arms overhead, growing the branches of your tree. Feel the breath fill the belly, and then exhale the arms, bending the elbows, coming to cactus arms, goalpost arms. And bringing your awareness to the back. So when we're standing on our foot in this pose, it requires that balance of Kira and Sukham. So see if you can fix your gaze on something right now, not moving. Drawing the breath in and out. See if you can feel the whole back pressing into the mat. And then bringing the hands, sweep them down to draw that left knee back to center and then draw it into your chest. Wrap the strap around the ball of the foot. Slowly extending it up to the ceiling. So grabbing the two ends of the strap. So left hand on the left of your foot, leg, and the right hand around the right side of the strap, and just start drawing down and pushing the ball of the foot into the strap. So you might even try dropping the heel of that left foot to then push the ball of the foot into the strap. That might change the stretch a little bit. One more full breath in and out. This is really getting into our hamstring muscle. And then bring the straps together, grab with your left hand. Start letting that left leg drop out to the side. Right hand on right hip to help you stay grounded. Try and keep that right leg active. Or the right foot can come to the mat, bending that right knee. Again, it doesn't matter how far that leg drops down. What matters more is the breath. The breath staying full and fluid. One more full inhale. And exhale. Inhale the leg back to center. Grab the strap in your right hand. Start taking the twist. So we're dropping this left leg now over to the right, rolling onto the right side of the body. Extend the left arm straight out from the shoulder palm up. Coming into the twist. Noticing any areas of resistance, any parts of the body where the breath is getting stuck, and breathing through. One more full inhale and exhale, and then bringing that leg back to center, releasing the strap. Draw both knees into your chest, rock from side to side, massaging the sacrum again. This time now hug the knees into the chest a little deeper and bring your forehead up to your knees, breathing into the back of the neck. Let the head drop down, extend both legs up to the ceiling and grab, so you're wrapping your hands around the backs of the thighs toward the knees. And then begin to rock, letting the legs drop and lift you up. Rock back to your back. One more time. And then push the legs down into your hands to bring you up. Everybody make it? And then we'll cross at the ankles, rock forward to tabletop. Finding tabletop again and moving through a few cows and cats. So inhale, lifting the crown of your head, tilting your tailbone up. And exhale, rounding the spine, tuck your chin to your chest and tuck the tailbone under. Inhale into cow pose. And exhale into cat, hold cat pose. So keep this rounded spine and start pushing your seat to your heels. So arms staying fully extended when you're sits bones are reaching your heels, then begin to round up. Come up on your knees, sweep your arms overhead, palms touch, and come back to tabletop. Inhale into cow pose. And exhale into cat, keeping this rounded spine as you push your seat to your heels. Inhale as you lift up on your knees, sweep your arms overhead. And exhale one more time. Inhaling into cow pose. Exhale into cat, keeping that rounded spine as you push your seat to your heels. Inhale, lifting up on your knees. And hands now closing the pose at our heart center. Take a full breath in, breathing in this gratitude and love and compassion. And then reach down, bring the top of your mat and fold it in towards you. And then bring your knees onto that little extra cushion that we just made for ourselves. We'll be on our knees for a minute or two. And now take your toes and turn them under. Flare out your toes, bless you, getting a good stretch for the toes. So maybe even your seat, you're pushing back, leaning back a little bit so you feel some pressure and some stretching. And then bring the arms in front of you. Draw the arms into your shoulder sockets. Interlace your fingers and now push the hands away from you. Feeling that stretch across the upper back. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, bring it back down. This time, push the hands away from you a little bit more. Tuck your chin to your chest. Deeper stretch for the upper back. And then inhale, lift the arms overhead. Release them, shoulder height. Flex the hands and push through the base of your palms. Draw the arms back a little bit out of your peripheral vision. Pushing and lengthening through the arms while softening the shoulders away from your ears. And then sweep them behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Extend the arms. If the shoulders are extra spicy this morning, extra tight, you can bend the elbows, bring the knuckles to your sacrum. If the arms are extended, think about lifting the chest and moving the thighs and hips toward the mirrors. One more full breath in. And out, release the arms up by the ears. And then lower down. One pulse. Bring your seat to your heels. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, pulse back down. If you're barefoot a lot, this should feel really juicy. And pulse back down. Inhale, lift up one more time. And lift up. Rock forward, tap out the tops of your feet. In about 2 hours, when they feel, you're going to notice all of a sudden, oh, I don't have any pain in my feet. Oh. All right, tabletop. Take the feet back, find plank pose. Strong plank. Not collapsing in the chest or shoulders, but broadening across the upper back. Take an inhale, and then on your exhale, let your hips lift you up, coming into downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Full breath in, full breath out. Lift your gaze, look between your hands, and walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Lift up halfway, find a flat back. Take the arms out to the sides. So by taking them out to the sides, try not to let them fly. but have them extending straight out from the shoulders, lengthening out long, engage in the low belly, drawing navel toward your spine. And now put a little bend in your knees and lift the upper back to stand. Now straighten the legs, float the arms overhead, and exhale, hands to heart center, Tadasana, mountain pose. Sthira, Sukham, Asanam. So find a spot to focus your gaze on. We call this a dristi. Really helpful in standing poses to bring that balance of steady yet ease. So notice where you're engaged here, rooting down through the feet, maybe feeling the kneecaps lifting up a little bit, thighs engaged, and then lengthen down through your low back. So you feel lengthening down, and then the energy moving up the spine. Inhale the arms overhead. Keep rooting down through the feet as you dive forward, hinging at your hips, coming into forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up halfway, and exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale, lift up halfway. Now bend your knees a lot, your seat moving towards your heels. Bring your knees drawn back so they're not coming in front of your toes. And inhale the arms to the ears, chair pose, Utkatasana. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, straighten the legs to standing. Little arching of the upper back. Hands to heart center, Tadasana. Reach down for your blocks. Place your blocks at the top of your mat at the middle height and stand in between them. And then coming back to mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, arms overhead, and exhale, hinging forward, hands to blocks. Bend your knees and step your right leg back, finding low lunge. Drop the right knee down, uncurl the toe. Sweep your arms forward. Lift them up by the ears, Anjaneyasana. Shoulders stacking with hips. Find your dristi. Sthira, Sukham, Asanam. So notice where you are rooting down. Balance, steadiness. With ease, find the sweetness. Hands back down to the blocks. Tuck your right toes under and lift that right leg. Find some length in it. Keep your right hand on the right block. Take that left arm up, opening into a twist. Where can you focus your gaze? Breathe in. Exhale that left hand down. Push off your right foot, step it forward. Lift up halfway on your inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up halfway. Bend your knees, plant your hands on the block, step your left leg back, finding low lunge on either side. Dropping left knee down, uncurl the toe. Sweep the arms forward as you lift yourself up. 3 breaths. Find your dristi, that's point that you can focus your gaze on. So rooting down through the sole of the right foot, the top of the left foot, hips drawing toward the midline. Exhale, hands to the blocks, tuck the left toes under, lift that left leg, get some length in it. Right arm lifts, opening into the twist. Full breath in. Full breath out. Notice if you're dumping weight in your left shoulder, and instead try and lengthen through that arm across the chest out through the right fingertips. And exhale, lower that right hand down. This time, step the right leg back. So finding a high plank pose using the blocks. Feel strong across the shoulders and chest, and then lift the hips. Come into downward facing dog, and either keep the blocks there or move them off to the side, bringing the hands to the mat. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. So the head, you should feel a release of tension in the neck. The head in a comfortable position in between the arms and the neck long. Full breath in. Full breath out. Look between your hands and walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Lift up halfway. Take the arms out to the sides. Bend your knees a little bit. Soften the knees and lift the upper back to stand. Take the arms overhead. Palms touch. Hands to heart center. Hands to your hips. Put a little bend in your knees. Make sure your feet are about hip distance apart. Want you to balance on that left foot. So just lift the right foot off the mat about a half an inch. Notice if your right hip just wanted to jack up and drop back down. And then step that right foot back and drop the heel, straighten the left leg. So not that far back, Nick, just about 2 feet. And then grab your blocks and put them underneath your shoulders. Lift back up at the highest. So notice how I'm leaning back a little bit. Bring your hands, actually your thumbs, to your sacrum and draw your elbows toward each other so the chest is opening. The fingers wrapping around the outside of your hips. Root down through your feet and then begin to lead with your heart as you hinge forward. So we're coming into pyramid pose, deep hamstring stretch. So by keeping our hands like this, it kind of forces us to lead with the heart and hinge forward. Now fingertips to your blocks. Notice how our sacrum stays level. You can take this deeper. You can bring the blocks to the middle height, but continue to lengthen. So don't lose the lengthening in your spine and your level hips. So if you feel like your right hip, your right sits bone is starting to lift, you want to drop that down. So for some of you, if you're feeling like the hips aren't leveling quite right, just move that right foot to the right a little bit. Separate the distance. You don't want your right leg behind the left. You want to have it be where you're standing on 2 planks of wood. And those right toes are turning. They're not at a 45-degree angle, but they're facing the front of the room more. And start to press into your feet, engage the lower abdomen, bring your hands back to your hips, elbows coming toward each other, lift back up to stand. Bend the left knee a little bit, float the arms up by the ears, and now turn those right toes to the wall a little bit. Warrior one. Lengthen down through your low back to help stabilize the spine. And then hands back to the hips. Bring that right foot forward. We're gonna go right into tree pose. So turn that right knee out to the side and start either with your toes on the floor or the sole of the right foot inside the calf. Hips are still level, hands to heart center. Maybe if have worked this pose for a while and you want to try bringing the sole of the right foot to the inside thigh. So finding your drishti now here helps with steadiness. Making sure that right foot isn't against the knee. So if we fall out of the pose, start by rooting down through that left foot again. Focusing on the rooting down of the foot to help steady yourself. Hands back to heart center if you grew the branches of your tree. Then bring that right knee, hug it into your chest. Roll that foot around a few times, one direction and the other direction. And then lower it down and just shake out the arms into Tadasana. Bring them up overhead. Release some of that energy. So all of that on the other side. So just take a moment though in Tadasana, just body scan. Notice how that all made you feel. Notice where you lost a little bit of the steadiness. Any emotions or feelings arise. Just let it all be. Hands to hips, soften the knees, starting with pyramid pose. So bring that left foot back about 1.5 feet, 2 feet. Have the left toes facing more forward. They're maybe just turn to the left a little bit, but more forward. So you want to lean back a little bit. Bring the hands behind you so they're resting on your sacrum. Chest lifting. Then start to hinge forward, lead with the heart. When you get about halfway, fingertips to those blocks, starting at the highest. Root down through the feet. Notice the lengthening of the spine as you continue to move the chest toward that right leg. Keep that lengthening of the spine versus bringing in any rounding. Through the feet. And one more breath here. And then bring hands to hips, root down through the feet as you lift back up to stand. Bend that right knee, inhale, arms up to the ears. So maybe adjust that left foot as you need to. Warrior one. Warrior one also brings us into Sthira Sukham Asana, rooting down through the feet, finding steadiness as this right thigh is using a little bit more effort. Find steadiness. Hands to hips, bring that left foot forward, and then taking that left knee out to the side. So starting with the toes on the mat. Then maybe lifting to the calf or inside the thigh. Hands coming to heart center. Maybe growing the branches of the tree. Everybody's working in a different place. So just make this an opportunity to focus on the drishti. The gaze steady. Rooting down through that right foot now, energetically bringing the sole of the foot toward the leg, standing leg, as the standing leg is energetically moving toward the sole of the foot. Hands to heart center. Hug that left knee in. Roll that foot around, that ankle, and the other direction. Stand Tadasana. Shake those arms out. Full breath in, inhale. Big audible sigh out through the mouth. And then find Tadasana and just start a gentle swinging of the arms. Get a little deeper, hands maybe gently tapping the backs. Sue would have a name for this. Hitting those points here, just beneath our, and it's connecting with our kidneys. And just keep swaying from side to side. Slowing it down. Just releasing some of that energy, letting yourself come back to mountain pose, to stillness. Bring one hand over the heart, one hand over the low belly. Just noticing your life force, your prana. The prana that is moving through the body. As you breathe in, feeling that gratitude for the air we all share. Our two life partners, the earth underneath our feet and the air we breathe. And then open the eyes and make your way onto your back, setting up for supported bridge. So bring your feet to the mat. So we're gonna hold supported bridge for about a minute. Have the block at the lowest setting, because then we're gonna move into legs up. So slide the block underneath your sacrum. So press into your feet, lift your hips, slide the block under so that your sits bones, that low back, that bony part of your low back, can rest on the block. Your feet pressing into the mat. Your feet and knees in line with your hips. And then reach down. Walk your feet toward your sits bones so you can graze the backs of your ankles. Barely graze with your longest finger, and then just let the arms fall to the floor, palms up or down, whatever is more comfortable. Find a gaze to fix, find a spot on the ceiling to gaze on. Begin matching your inhales with your exhales. So inhale to 4 and exhale to 4. So allowing the release. So the supported back bend. So our bridge pose is a chest opener as well as a back extension. Feeling a little bit of space in the back of your neck. So by allowing the back to release into the support, you're able to focus on your breath versus the effort needed to hold yourself up. And by creating that release, I know we're wired to think that we have to over effort all the time, that if we're not over efforting, that there's no gain. I promise there's more gain when there's no pain. When we take our mind off having to over effort, we can bring the breath to areas of the body that need attention, or maybe it's the mind. This next breath, make it a little deeper where you're pausing the breath at the top. And then exhale, and pausing. Begin to lift one foot and then the other, so the knees coming to a 90-degree angle, and then extend the legs up to the ceiling, one at a time. Move the arms away from the body a little bit, not quite as high as the shoulders, but about 20 degrees away. So this pose, almost a supported shoulder stand. Try not to turn your head at all to protect your neck. So this helps our circulation, it helps our digestive system. It helps to send a message to our nervous system to move into a calmer, relaxed state. One more full breath in and out. Slowly rebend the knees, bringing the feet to the mat. And then press into the feet, lift your hips and remove the block. And then let the back lower one vertebrae at a time. Heel toe your feet as wide as your mat, so your knees are separating, coming wider than your hips. And just slowly drop the knees over to the right. Take the knees over to the left. One more time over to the right. Keep them there. So make sure your feet are still as wide as your mat. Take the left arm overhead, lengthening that left side. So staying here, or maybe lift that right foot and rest it on top of the left knee, helping that left knee to drop a little further and deeper toward the mat. If that's intensifying it too much, just release. Try and soften that left shoulder. And then take that right foot off the left knee if you had it there. Drop that left arm back down. Windshield the knees over to the left. Over to the right. And over to the left. Let him drop down. Float that right arm overhead, glide that right shoulder blade under to help soften the shoulder. And if you took it on the other side, lift that left foot so the outside ankle is resting on top of the right knee. So stretching our psoas muscle, this right hip, opening up this right side of the body. And release that left foot off the knee if you put it there. Drop that right arm back down and bring the knees back to face the ceiling. And then just let the knees fall together. Bring the hands to the belly. The heels being a comfortable distance away from the sits bones. Take a deep breath in. Sigh it out through the mouth. So 3 breaths where you're almost bringing you're exhaling through the mouth, almost like you're exhaling through a straw. So inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth, but almost like you're exhaling through a straw. So staying in this pose that we call constructive rest, helping the low back. So noticing how this constructive rest allows our inner groin muscles to be in a more relaxed state. When our inner groin muscles are more relaxed, then our belly can soften, which then helps the psoas muscle to soften. Your hands can stay resting on your belly, or if it's more comfortable to let the arms drop to the floor. As you allow the breath to flow involuntarily. Noticing just the softness of the belly as it meets the breath. And then noticing how the breath is pooling into the low back, into the middle back, as the back begins to melt into the mat. So even finding a balance here of sthira and sukha. Turning inward in this rest pose and feeling connected to ourselves, others, and nature. aiming to develop a soothing sense of calm, contentment, joy, happiness, gratitude. Also maybe a connection to the divine, to your divine self. Slide one leg out at a time, lengthening the legs out onto the mat. Invite small movements back in, wiggling your fingers and your toes, circling the ankles, circling your wrists. Begin to deepen your breath. On an inhale, float the arms overhead, take a long awakening stretch. On your exhale, drawing the knees in toward the chest. Take another full breath, inhale and exhale. Rolling onto your right side into the fetal position. Use that right arm extended and use it as a support for your head. And just notice here as you deepen your breath, as you come back to a more awakened state, just any sensations, anything that's rising up for you. Feel the energy flow from your heart space throughout your body. Pressing into that left hand to help move you up to a seat. Keeping the eyes closed or at a soft gaze, coming to an easy seat, crossing the legs, sitting up nice and tall, feeling rooted on your sits bones. Take the fingertips to the floor on either side. Lengthening the arms and then flip your palms up. Inhale the arms overhead. Palms touch. Draw the hands down to your heart space. Drawing down gratitude and thanks. A soft bow of the head toward your heart. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for giving yourself this time of self-care, self-study, exploration, deeper connection with yourself and others. We'll close with the sound of Om, followed by 3 Shanti. The Shantis meaning peace. Inhale and exhale the breath out. Shanti. Shanti. Lifting your fingers to your third eye, that space between your eyebrows, your source of intuition, the light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you all. I ran totally over. Terrible job of timekeeping today. But it's summer, you know, it's a looser schedule. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Any questions, feel free to ask. I think the green bag's right there for your straps. And then who's my friend that, well, let's see, Deb joined us. Hi.
It's
Unmute you
Sharon.
all. Oh,
Sharon
Wait,
is
with
on
the
those account.
MS account. Okay. Hi,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Hi,
Great to have you join us. Thank
yeah,
you.
glad to be here. Have a great day.
All right. You all have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
It was great.
Thanks, Nancy.
You're
Bye.
welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.